We're going to continue with the next one. I know these problems are out of order, and that's perfectly fine. Determine the average rate of change from x equals 0 to x equals 1 for f of x equals -3 times 2 to the x power plus 1. Alright, since we only have to do from x equals 0 to x equals 1, this one's actually not that bad, because we can actually look straight at the graph and find the slope. So I'm actually going to plot the points at x equals 0, which is right here. Let me switch colors, and x equals 1, which lands right here. So just like our previous units where you could just get the slope from the graph, it's just a matter of being very careful. So for this one, remember, we always read these from left to right. So starting from the red dot, I went down 1, 2, 3. Since I went down 3, it's going to be -3. And then I went to the right 1. So it's going to be -3 over 1. First, let me check. Can I simplify? Yes, -3 divided by 1 can simplify to -3. And that's going to be my answer. Again, these problems are not that bad. They're actually pretty easy. It's just a matter of practicing and refreshing your mind. So let's practice a couple more. Determine the average rate of change from x equals 0 to x equals 1 for each function given their graphs. So again, we're doing from x equals 0 to x equals 1. So for part A, f of x equals 2 times 2 to the x power plus 3. We're going to plot the point at where x equals 0 and then where x equals 1. So again, we always read them from left to right. So I'm going to start at the bottom red point, and I went up 1, 2 spots. So that's going to be positive 2 because I went up 2 and over 1. So up 2 over 1. Can that simplify? Yes. 2 divided by 1 simplifies to 2, and that's my answer. Again, just be careful when you're going, if you go from one point to the other and you go down, you do have to include that negative. So for part B, f of x equals -2 times 3 to the x power plus 4. So again, we plot one point where x equals 0 and then one point where x equals 1. So from left to right, I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. So since I went down 4, it's -4 and over 1. -4 over 1, that could simplify to -4, and -4 would be my final answer. And last but not least, part C, f of x equals -1 times 3 to the x power plus 1. I'm going to plot a point at x equals 1, and I'm also going to plot a point where x equals 1. So again, left to right, I went down 1, 2, so that's -2 over 1. So it's going to be -2 over 1. And again, can I simplify that? Yes, I could simplify that to -2. -2 would be my final answer. For all of these, don't forget, the number that goes on top is the one that you either go up or down, and the number in the bottom is the one where you go to the right or to the left. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll be happy to help you with that. Alright, so next part of the problems is number 4, which is on the next page. You are modeling profit per year for your business. Part A, determine the average rate of change for the function g of x equals 300,000 parentheses 0.06 to the x power over the interval 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. So we kind of worked on these type of problems for target A, where they want you to solve for two numbers, in this case for x equals 1 and for x equals 4. So using that equation, I'm going to plug it in for both of them. So it's going to be g of 1 equals 300,000 parentheses 0.06 to the first power. Again, don't make it so hard on yourself. Just plug it into the calculator. So I have 300,000 parentheses 0.06, and I'm going to raise that to the first power. Enter, and I get 18,000. So this equals 18,000. So it's going to be 1 comma 18,000. Next up is going to be g of 4 equals 300,000 parentheses 0.06 to the fourth power. And again, I'm going to type that in right into my calculator. So 300,000 parentheses 0.06, raise that to the fourth power, enter, and I get 3.888. So this point here is going to be 4 comma 3.888. So again, what I usually like to do, since I do have to find the average rate of change, I am going to switch, let me switch color first. I am going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's going to be in the form m equals 3.888 minus 18,000 all over 4 minus 1. I know I'm running out of space and that's fine. So in the calculator, 3.188, I think I forgot the other 8, minus 18,000 equals negative 17,996.1. So negative 179, we go back, 96.1, all over 4 minus 1, which is 3. So I'm going to check that in the calculator. Negative 17996.1 divided by 3. That gives me negative 5,998.7. So that comes out to be negative 5,998.7. So that is only answering part A. Part B, express the rate of change in words in relation to the domain. So this is one sentence that you kind of have to write it specifically. For every x value, it decreases. Again, I'm writing decreases because my number came out to be negative by 5,998.7 over the interval 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. So again, the only two things that are kind of changed in this sentence is going to be whether it's increasing or decreasing, by what number, and then the interval that they're asking you to do. So again, we're going to repeat this problem one more time in a different function, and we're going to have some more practice. All right. You are modeling profit per year for your business. Part A, determine the average rate of change for the function g of x equals 5,000 parentheses 0.02 to the x power over the interval 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. So here we're going to do the same process, except we're going to be plugging in 1 and we're going to be plugging in 3. So for the first one, g of 1 equals 5,000 parentheses 0.2. What's going on? To the first power. So again, we're just going to type that into our calculator, save us some time. 5,000 parentheses 0.02, raise that to the first power, and I got 100. So this point is going to be 1 comma 100. We're going to repeat the same process, except I'm going to be plugging in 3. There's going to be g of 3 equals 5,000 parentheses 0.02 to the third power. So again, we're going to type that in right into the calculator. 5,000 parentheses 0.02, raise that to the third power. And I got 0.04. So this one's going to be 3 comma 0.04. So again, we do have to do slope. So it's going to be m equals, let me pre-label, x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's going to be 0.04 minus 100 all over 3 minus 1. Again, I'm going to type that into the calculator. 0.04, minus 100 equals negative 99.96. Negative 99.96 all over 3 minus 1, which is 2. So I'm going to check that in the calculator, see if I can simplify. Negative 99.96 divided by 2. And I got negative 49.98 equals negative 49.98. So that's for part 1. Part B, express the rate of change in words in relation to the domain. Again, the sentence is pretty simple. We're just going to be replacing a couple words and phrases. For every x value, it, again, since it's negative, decreases by 49.98 over the interval 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. Again, I underlined the phrases that usually are going to be the only things that you're going to be changing. You're going to be changing whether it's decreasing or increasing, by how much, and over the interval that they're asking you to solve for. So this concludes our notes. If you have any questions or you want me to go over a problem one-on-one with you, just call me over and I'll be willing to help you. Also, don't forget, you must complete your practice before I could give you your review guide for your quiz 10AB. I must check and you must be stamped out before I can let you go. So please keep in mind, work productively.